This is how I became the most powerful man in the United States, said Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie used to say something that confused those who observed him from the outside. He claimed that true power did not come from money, titles, or having your name printed in newspapers. Power came from the way a man thinks, decides, and positions himself in the world. And that is exactly how he became the most powerful man in the United States. Not through shouting, not through force, but through control. Carnegie was born without any advantage. The son of a failed weaver, he grew up in a Scotland that was being crushed by the machines of the Industrial Revolution. When his family sailed to America, he was 13 years old, with no money and no guarantee of a future. But there was something different about that boy. He observed more than he spoke. He thought more than he reacted. And early on, he understood a truth most people never learn. He who controls himself controls the game. While working in factories and later as a telegraph messenger, Carnegie did not see himself as a laborer. He saw himself as someone in training. Every environment was a classroom. Every mistake others made was a silent lesson. He observed how bosses thought, how they made decisions, how they handled pressure. And there he learned the first principle of power. Power is not reacting. Power is choosing when to act. While others complained about exhaustion, Carnegie studied. While others spent what little they earned to relieve frustration, he saved. While others spoke too much, he listened. He taught himself telegraphy simply by listening to sounds. He learned to anticipate messages. He learned how to become indispensable without ever begging for recognition. That behavior led him to the Pennsylvania Railroad. By the age of 24, he already held a position most people would never reach in a lifetime. But it was there that Carnegie made a decision that changed everything. He realized that status is not power. Security is not power. Salary is not power. Power is independence. When an investment opportunity appeared, he risked everything. His mother mortgaged the house. There was no guarantee. There was no plan B. But there was conviction. Carnegie understood something few people ever do. Those who depend solely on a paycheck never control their own destiny. From that moment on, his mindset changed. He stopped thinking like an employee and began thinking like an architect of systems. Every investment was not just a source of income, but a piece of a larger mechanism. Sleeping cars, ships, railroads, and then steel. When Carnegie entered the steel industry, he did not enter to compete. He entered to dominate. He said that true power is not about doing better than others. It is about creating something others cannot copy. He automated processes, standardized production, reduced waste, controlled costs like no one else. While competitors fought for space, he built a system so efficient that it swallowed the entire market. And then, in 1901, he did something that shocked the country. He sold everything. $480 million. An unimaginable fortune for the time. At that moment, Andrew Carnegie was no longer just rich. He was untouchable. But that was when he revealed his deepest form of power. He said no. No to accumulation without purpose. No to empty luxury. No to vanity. No to ego. Carnegie believed that the man who dies rich dies in disgrace. To him, money without direction was weakness disguised as success. And then began the most powerful phase of his life. He began to control ideas. He built libraries, universities, museums, scientific funds, institutions for peace. While other millionaires wanted to be remembered through buildings bearing their names, Carnegie wanted to be remembered through transformed minds. He understood something few powerful men understand. Weapons control bodies. Ideas control generations. That is how he became the invisible mentor of leaders, entrepreneurs, and thinkers. That is how he influenced Napoleon Hill. That is how his thinking crossed decades. Carnegie knew that true power is silent. It does not shout. It shapes. It does not force. It directs. It does not seek attention. It endures. And when people asked how he had become the most powerful man in the country, he did not speak of steel, money, or business. He spoke of three simple things: self-control, clarity, positioning. He said the man who does not control his emotions will be controlled by those who do. That the man without clarity accepts any path, and that those who fail to position themselves properly will always be used by others. Carnegie built power because he never saw himself as a victim. He never blamed the world. He never outsourced responsibility. He took total control of his own mind. And this is the point most people miss. You do not become powerful by dominating others. You become powerful when no one can dominate you. When you do not react impulsively. When you do not decide out of fear. When you do not live to please. When you do not depend on approval. Andrew Carnegie became the most powerful man in the United States in a simple way. He thought before acting. He acted with intention. And he never surrendered his mind to chaos. Simple as that. And the question that remains is not about him. It is about you. Who controls your decisions today? Your fear, your routine, your environment. Because power is not something distant. It is a daily habit. And Carnegie proved that.